Hi, and welcome to the set of About the Authors TV. I'm your host, Jake Brown. We're excited to share with you a preview of a few of the upcoming episodes starring the best-selling authors in the world that you'll see in full this winter on seasons 1 and 2 of About the Authors TV. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy.
The First Council was the third book that came out. And my publisher, actually, the second book didn't do well. It did not do well at all. The first book went out, was this blockbuster, blah, 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 what they call it. The second book, the sales plummeted. And I was terrified. The publisher shut down. I was like, this is the end. It's all over. And I just said, I'm going to write the book I want to write. And I was going to write a White House thriller about the president's daughter. And the week I got all my interviews set up, this little scandal broke in the White House at the time, by the name of Monica Lewinsky. Scandal broke, and every door slammed in my face. No one wanted to talk to anyone when that happened. And I'll never forget, the Washington Post did this huge story in the style section that basically said, like, only a fool would be working on a White House thriller right now because you can't beat reality. And I remember reading that paper and going, oh my gosh, I'm the fool. That's me. But it's been a good part of a year researching and writing the book, and the book finally came out. And again, it takes a long time for these things to play. So like 2 years after this all happens, the book comes out, and this tiny show comes on the air called The West Wing. And we were like a week or 2 or 3 later after The West Wing, our book came out, and suddenly, again, just dumb luck, right place, right time, the White House became the place again. Everyone was interested, and I was the only person that had a book about the White House and the inner workings of it from the first family's perspective. And I got lucky. It wound up being, it sold in a way that we never, ever anticipated.
Going to law school was the great break of my literary career in many, many ways, because I had really taken my own mark well. And I was truly interested in the law, and interested in a way that sort of, pulled at my heart and my guts. And that, of course, as it turned out, was to be my subject. And 1L, I signed the contract. I have no idea how I was going to be able to write this book. I worked feverishly as a first-year law student, and then also wrote this book at nights and on the weekends. And then in the 14 weeks between the first and second year, finished it and sent it off to New York. People always wonder, how could you write a nonfiction book, albeit with the names changed, about your classmates and professors while you're still a student at Harvard Law School? And the answer is simple. After I had that first conversation with Ned, I was terrified that if I asked him to wait another year to publish the book, he would forget again why he wanted to publish it. And this time he might not be so easily persuaded to do it. And so, I had to go forward, even though it ended up making for a very, very uncomfortable third year.
There's a freedom to writing fiction. And this is one of the things I found very constricting about when I was a graduate student in the Russian Research Center at Harvard, where if you get a fact wrong, people think the thesis is wrong. I mean, you've got to be very, very careful. And I was more interested in exploring ideas that you couldn't explore in nonfiction. And what I found was that when I would go to a source and tell them I'm writing a novel, they would be much more likely to talk to me, a writer of novel, of fiction, than they would be to talk to a reporter. So reporters basically are dangerous for a lot of these people. But if you're writing a novel that's like, well, okay, I can imagine along with you. So yeah, I think you can tell stories in fiction based on fact.
Each novel is more difficult to write than its predecessor because you've put out so many words. And as I say, I loathe stereotype. You're trying, on the one hand, if you write a series, your loyal readers, whom I adore, need to feel what I call the comfort of the familiar. So you need to do some plot telling and some repetition so that the faithful reader feels at home. But you don't want to overdo it, but yet you want to get the new reader in. So it's always a combination. I am not trying to be disingenuous, but The novel I always like the best is really the one I'm writing now.